Because this guy, believe it or not, squats over 500, deadlifts over 600, and benches over 315, right?
Yeah, it's insane. You think about it, and it's like, holy crap, 600 pounds? Like, did you really just do that? No! It's really starting to hit the younger generation because they want to see that progress now. I mean, they don't know how to put in that hard work.
And the generation nowadays is all about that instant gratification. They see it, they want it now.
No! My saying is, if I can't do it on my own, where's the satisfaction in that?
I'm training just as hard now naturally. I'm 165. I feel fantastic at this. I have no heart problems, no health problems. My testosterone's at a good level. Why would I mess with that?
It's your choice at the end of the day, but just give time to like have your body develop, man.
He came to my doorstep and I was like, holy shit, Zach's put on a lot of sauce. I was like, what drugs are you using?
No. And sports was one of my main keys growing up. My brother's the one that motivated me to like, hey, you know what? You gotta get up, you gotta do something.
Or was it just to get the girls?
That was one of them. No. Everybody knows about the gym girls.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, I always looked at myself as that scrawny kid that didn't really know how to do anything. I mean, I was a runner in high school. That's all I did. And I just fell in love with the gym. I mean, it makes you more positive in life. I mean, it's not just only the gains. I mean,
no, not at all.
It's a lot of mental, a lot of stress and depression gets relieved. No. Yeah, when I'm at work, I mean, I look forward to going to the gym every day. Like, if I'm having a bad day at work, I can't wait to get to the gym.
Drive 40 miles for me. I don't care. I just had an amazing squat workout.
Yeah, or I just hit a PR. You ain't gonna ruin my motivation. No. It makes me happy seeing myself lift so much weight. Just everybody's there to help somebody out. I mean, and that's back to the younger generation. I think they're more worried about what's going on social media than just like asking, you know. I mean, how many times have you corrected me in the past on things? A lot.
That's true. Those two exercises, I was like, come on, Zach. Damn it, Zach.
It took me a while to get to understanding of that. But
it doesn't matter how long you've been training, you should always look for ways to improve your lifting.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing you changed in that time period from just bodybuilding to strength?
I mean, if you got baby powder, you'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, you'll be fine.
No.
You were going to hit
I'm
fives.
going to hit those fives no matter if I'm there for an hour or 30 minutes or 5 hours. I will sit there until I get it done.
So people say, oh, you've been taking too long in the squat rack or taking too long with the bench. It's like, bro, stop with your cardio and actually lift something.
Yeah. You got to get form down first and a lot of those compound lifts before you go weight-wise. And that's what I always try telling the younger kids. Same position.
We can name a lot of people that look like they're going to die in a squat rack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would rather see somebody with an amazing form before I saw somebody squatting 800 pounds.
What does over 500 pounds feel like on your back? What is the mindset to be able to push past the limits of having 4 plates on there?
And I'm a very rock heavy kind of guy.
But yeah, music is key in a lot of big lifts. It can really change the mindset of a lot of people. So 5x5 you think is something that a lot of people should use?
Yes. I would recommend it. If you want to squat heavyweight or bench heavyweight or anything in general, I mean, 5x5s are killer.
The 3 pillars of gaining mass and strength, and those are volume, intensity, and frequency. And all programs have to be built around those 3 pillars, otherwise it's not a program. A lot of the science says you have to train a muscle group 2-3 times a week when you're natural. And I actually have better gains now since doing it my way compared to not listening to the science and literature. How much you bench?
I am not a fan of bench.
What's the biggest thing that you think got your bench from 225 to 315?
I get into really bad mental mindset when it comes to bench.
I think we all do.
Yeah, on the bench.
The moving feet is a very common thing. I have to correct for whenever we're training with new people. Because a lot of people I see don't even use their quads on like shoulder press or a bench even, for that matter. It's like, use a little leg drop for that. And I was always looking, I'm like, I really hope he doesn't mess up his shoulder. Yeah. Once you learn to, you do it on everything. You do it on dumbbell presses, on shoulder presses, you just, that natural, it's like, you just tight everything up and it's strong.
I take my accessories a lot more serious than I ever did with bench. Yeah.
I'm thinking, come on, man. No. Accessorize that shit.
No.
So you say dumbbell bench is probably one of the best accessories to bench.
Yes. No.
Let's talk about the monster of the king of lifts, the deadlift.
Well, deadlift is a hate/love relationship for me.
Because I know people that I train with too, they're thinking, I'm going to put 100 pounds on my squat in this amount of time. It's like, that is not a lot of time to do. When you're natural, It's a grind.
I'd say I deadlift once every 2.5 weeks.
It's like, how in the hell did I used to bench, squat, and deadlift in the same day?
Yeah.
And Josh was like, well, you're also like 10 years older now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm one that's big on the whole ice bath thing. I'm obsessed with ice baths.
Because my recovery felt better when I was doing the cold showers, but I was building more muscle without them. I tell people, before you pull, protect your armpits. If you feel like somebody's tickling you, that's what you should do. Like that motion of, oh, somebody's tickling me, pull your lats back, and that will pull the slack out of the bar naturally. I see people squat in short shorts. I'm thinking, the hell, man.
Well, I do that. I gotta show off those quads. No.
If you want to look big, traps.
Yeah.
Get some new traps on you. What that taught me though during COVID was I trained less and I made more progress. So how much does good old Zach sleep?
5.5, 6 hours of sleep.
Dude, if you got that to 8, 9, you'd probably be squatting over 700 pounds. Yep. So what about supplementation?
I take them all.
I'm kind of the salt guy. Curious, try it. I mean, these are just things that I'm thinking, like, if you tried them, they maybe will shoot your lifts through the roof.
Gonna have to put some more on my french fries or something.
Yeah, what a fat carb protein was.
No. I just ate whatever I saw in sight and went and worked out. No. There you go. That's,
Call that the seafood diet. What do you do to get your carbs to 500? Because some people are thinking, the hell he eats to get to 500 carbs.
I am obsessed with pasta. You learn a lot from anime, actually.
You really do. Anime is I've learned a shit ton from anime.
Yeah, I always wanted to look like a Super Saiyan.
So anime, it's powerful stuff. People laugh at people for watching anime, but you can learn so much motivation through anime.
Nerds, right?
First question I got here is, why have you not jumped on juice, and do you ever plan to?
No. Telling you, for me personally, if you put in that hard work and you get those numbers up, that satisfaction will be 10 times better than it ever will be if you were hopping. Patience, man. Patience.
Some people don't understand patience. We live in a generation that doesn't know patience.
No, they don't, unfortunately. And see what your full potential is naturally before you ever even think about hopping on anything. Exactly. Everybody wants to become the next Chris Bumstead, Alex Eubank, Bradley Martin. Everybody wants to be rich and famous. Everybody wants to be sponsored. Sky's the limit for me, I guess. That's how I see it. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah.
I tell people, when have you ever seen a small dude bench 315?
Yeah.
You use, what cycle are you gonna go on?
No.
You better still be natural. Otherwise, I'm gonna pull back
100%.
Otherwise, I'm gonna pull back this video of you saying, I'm gonna stay natural.
No.
Damn it, what'd you do, Zach?
Oops. Looking at you like, oh, why is he in the gym, or why is she in the gym? She doesn't look like she goes to the gym every day. I see that all the time.
What is happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of One Warrior Season 2. I have a guest today that I've wanted to probably have on since last season, and I have not been able to get him on until just now. And last season, we talked to your friend Dawson last season. You still train with Dawson at all?
I do not.
Okay, so
Fortunately,
Dawson Nichols was on last season, and that episode was really popular. He talked a bunch about his progress and everything, and it was great. So I knew I wanted to have Zach on because this guy, believe it or not, squats over 500, deadlifts over 600, and benches over 315, right?
Yeah, it's insane to think those numbers in general. You think about it, and it's like, holy crap, 600 pounds. Like, did you really just do that?
Right, they're high. Those are high numbers.
They are.
And how old are you, Zach?
I am 25. I just turned 25 in May, so trying to keep it strong and going, and my years are getting older.
He's young. He's a young pup, and he's already hitting those numbers. And also, I want to specify, you're natural.
100% natural.
No TRT, because everybody's getting on TRT nowadays.
I know.
Everybody.
It's almost like everybody you know.
You talk to anybody, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, I got my prescription for TRT." I'm like, and these are young people.
Yeah, it's younger than me.
Me and Chad did a whole podcast on it because it's insane. Yeah. It's so popular right now.
Yeah, I watched that. It's just insane the amount of people that you would think that do it. You would think they wouldn't. It kind of just sucks because it's really starting to hit the younger generation because they want to see that progress now. They don't know how to put in that hard work. And I understand. I get it. Yeah,
it's about instant gratification.
100%.
We talked about, me and Chad talked about this on Instagram. They see these, models or bodybuilders, these people that have, obviously put on years of work, and the generation nowadays is all about that instant gratification. They see it, they want it now. Oh, yeah. They don't care about the work, the journey. like we do. We care about the journey, the effort it takes, the grind.
Yeah.
Those young generations just don't, though.
No, I mean, and that's been one of my motivation keys. I mean, my saying is, if I can't do it on my own, where's the satisfaction in that? I mean,
I love that.
If I don't know I'm doing it 100% capable of myself,
what's the point then?
Yeah. I mean,
that's one of the reasons I never jump on anything either, because it's like, if I got on TRT, sure, I could get to 200 pounds, look freaking phenomenal. Yep. But it's like, I'd be thinking when I go to bed at night, like, was it just the TRT?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? Like, I'm training just as hard now naturally. I'm 165. I feel fantastic at this. I have no heart problems, no health problems. My testosterone's at a good level. Why would I mess with that?
Exactly.
And I'm 32 years old. It's like, I don't get that.
No, and it's the younger generation. I mean, I understand if down the road when you get older, if you want to do it. I mean,
yeah.
It's your choice at the end of the day, but just give time to like have your body develop, man. I mean, I think, you're not being patient.
No, I think 10 years is a good limit to decipher if you want to actually go on to something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But I have known Zach since, oh my gosh, 2000, when I joined the Y. Let's see, 2015, I think, is when I joined the Y. And you trained with your brother then.
I did.
Does he still live?
Yes, he does.
How's he doing?
He's doing good. I mean, losing a lot of weight because he has diabetes, so he put on a lot of weight once he got out of high school. But I mean, he's doing very well for somebody that has diabetes and is in the gym constantly. I mean,
you've put in so much size since then. I mean, I remember when you used to train with him. I mean, we were friends up there, but you just were so small compared to your brother.
Scrawny kid, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't think we were brothers at the time. No. I mean, it's insane how I've progressed. I mean, as much as solid person myself, I still don't think I have, but to other people, yeah,
it's noticeable. He came to my doorstep. I was like, holy shit, Zach's put on a lot of size. I was like,
hey, Shawn.
I was like, what drugs are you using?
Literally, yeah. That's been asked quite a few times. I mean, people asking if I've done anything, if I've taken steroids. I mean, and I get it. People are gonna question you when they see the weight you do, but no, man, I've never had that passion to seek that.
Is it the younger generation that asks you that, or is it the older?
It's more younger.
I believe that, because the older they know, they've done the grind, they know how hard it is to build muscle, and they can see, oh, you are natural.
They can see somebody putting in the work. They know.
So let's go into your backstory a little bit, your lifting backstory. When did you start? How did you start? What motivated you to start?
Well, one of the most motivations I've ever had was my brother. He's always been the biggest motivator in my life, from anywhere from high school sports to working out. I mean, my senior year, I wasn't able to play sports because of a whole situation between transferring schools from Milwaukee to Ohio. So that kind of put me in a very depressed state my senior year. I mean, I was failing all my classes. I wasn't taking life too serious because, I thought, what's the point of finishing school if I can't even enjoy it? I mean, and sports was one of my main keys growing up. I mean, I've always just been a freak for athlete stuff. I mean, I didn't really start working out in the gym probably until after high school, taking it serious, because my brother's the one that motivated me to like, hey, you know what? Got to get up, you got to do something. And I just fell in love with it ever since. So I thank him. I really do. He was probably the biggest key of where I'm at today.
So it was basically family. There was no other outside sources for motivation. Okay. When you started training, was your goal maybe strength or bodybuilding, or what was your kind of mindset going into it?
Well,
or was it just to get the girls?
That was one of them. Being a single man, yeah. Everybody knows about the gym girls.
Yeah.
But I think it was probably just I was tired of feeling weak all the time. I mean, I always looked at myself as that scrawny kid that didn't really know how to do anything. I mean, because I was a runner in high school. That's all I did. So I didn't know anything about gaining mass. I didn't know how people did it. I always thought like, holy crap, those guys are like insane. Like, how are they that huge? So
you're talking about bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. It was just, I had to change something. I just wasn't happy with the person I was. And I just fell in love with the gym. I mean, It's just something about and you don't really understand it until you're there for quite a while of just what it does for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes you more positive in life. I mean, it's not just only the gains. I mean,
no, not at all.
It's a lot of mental, a lot of stress and depression gets relieved. I mean, you make friends in the gym that you'll know for years.
Oh yeah.
I mean, for you, great example.
Exactly.
I've known you for quite a while.
The amount of people I have met on this journey is insane.
It is. I mean, I don't think the outside people don't really understand it until you're there.
Yeah.
They don't. They're like, oh, that guy's obsessed with the gym. That's all he does 24/7. Well, it's a way of life. I mean,
it is. And like he said, you don't understand that until you actually get in the gym with these around those type of people. Cause you fall into that kind of said mindset, and you stick with that, and it just kind of keeps you pulling along through the journey and whatnot. I mean, a lot of these younger kids, I feel like they're just focusing on their idealistic bodies that they want, and they're losing the fun aspect of it because they're just focusing on the way they look all the time. And for me, it's like, I just love to train. And I've told people this. I love to get off work, head to the gym, look at my programming. Like, I got this to do tonight. Like I got sets of 3 on squats tonight. It's such freaking awesome.
It is.
I freaking love it.
Yeah. When I'm at work, I mean, I look forward to going to the gym every day. Like, if I'm having a bad day at work, I can't wait to get to the gym just to relieve all that stress and just anything I had in a horrible day, because it really does help.
Do you think it makes you just an easier person to talk to out of the gym then too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, people could, like, I tell this story, like, people can pull out in front of me after going to the gym, and it's like, I don't care. Drive 40 miles from me. I don't care. I just had an amazing squat workout.
Or I just hit a PR. You ain't gonna ruin my motivation. No way.
Exactly. So talk about a little bit your evolution of training. How'd you started, and then like how you're going about it nowadays compared to where you were?
I would say nowadays, since I have more knowledge of how it works. I mean, when I first started, I was just doing whatever in the gym. Didn't really know much about it, which, that's kind of how you are until you have somebody guide you and show you how it is nutrition wise, and what workouts to do for your type of whatever you want to do. If you want to do bodybuilding, if you want to be aesthetic. I mean, I'd say at first I was just more of like just keeping in shape kind of athletic training until I finally started getting a grasp of how it works. And ever since then, I want to just put on more mass, get stronger. Because there's something about it that it makes me happy seeing myself lift so much weight.
Yeah.
It's just something you don't know until you do it, I guess.
Exactly. You don't. And heavy is a relative thing, heavy for one person. I mean, it depends on the person, it's like, for me, my heavy squat is like 275, 300. His is 500, 550, almost 600. You almost have a 600-pound squat. So, I mean,
it is a goal.
It is a goal.
It is a goal.
It's funny because people I'm training with right now, their goal is 405. Like Josh's goal, Chad just hit 405.
I did. I saw that.
Well, for now, it's like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks, about a month ago, maybe it was.
He actually, I think it was probably a week or two before he went for that. He came up and he was asking me, what do I do? Like, how did I get such a strong squat?
Wow.
And, I was able to help him out. And that's just what I'm talking about in the gym, you know? Just everybody's there to help somebody out. I mean, and that's back to the younger generation. I think they're more worried about what's going on social media than just like asking, people in the gym, like questioning. Because there's so many people I see in the gym that, they don't know what they're doing. They're not lost. Instead of making fun of them, go up there, show them how it's done.
Yeah.
It's not being rude.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not rude at all. It sometimes they don't listen to you, and sometimes they just ignore you. I mean, me and Josh try to help people all the time, and when we correct them, and then we find out 3 days later they're doing exactly the same thing. I'm like, yeah, it was worth a try.
Yep. I mean, how many times have you corrected me in the past on things? A lot.
That's true.
I mean, as much as
side laterals and upright rows. No, those 2 exercises. I was like, come on, Zach. Damn it, Zach.
It took me a while to get to understanding of that, but I mean, I never took it personal.
No,
I always encourage hearing from other people, especially that have been doing it longer than me. Why am I going to turn them down?
Yep. So the same with my training. If I'm training like with my training partner Josh or Chad, if they notice something wrong for me, they'll tell me, and I'm gladly welcome to change. And same for them. I mean, it doesn't matter how long you've been training. You always should look for ways to improve your lifting.
Yeah, exactly.
Your form and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you started, what would you say you started with, bodybuilding or strength?
Probably more bodybuilding.
More bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And you gravitated more toward the strength.
Yep.
What was the biggest thing you changed in that time period from just bodybuilding to strength in your training? We're not talking about nutrition just yet.
I don't know. I mean, probably just the motivation. I mean, taking the workouts more serious. I mean, especially like on a leg day, as much as like, say I have to do like a 5x5, a 375, as much as like back in the day, I'd probably been like, oh, I'll just do 3, you know, whatever. I'll be good. I did it. No, I mean, that's just that drive of wanting to do it, like, because you know what the outcome is. You put in that work.
So you stick to your programming more.
I did.
Like if you have 5s written down, you're going to hit 5s. I'm going to hit
those 5s no matter if I'm there for an hour or 30 minutes or 5 hours. I will sit there until I get it done.
Yep. I'm the same exact way. And you have to be. I mean, if you have a goal, that's what it takes sometimes. Mm-hmm. People say, oh, you've been taking too long in the squat rack or taking too long with the bench. It's like, bro, stop with your cardio and actually lift something.
Yeah, literally. You're not there to judge.
All right, so let's get to know you through your lifts. I'm gonna put some videos up on the screen so you guys can see some of these amazing lifts. Let's first talk about your squat. Man. The evolution of your squat, Zach. Do you have a video of like some of your early days of squatting?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna post that here then of one of your top lifts then back then. I don't know what that would be right now, but whatever that is, it's gonna be on the screen right here for you guys right now.
Oh yeah. I mean,
what do you think your like one of your first big at max effort squats was?
315.
315. Sure. So that video is gonna be playing
for
there. Sure. And your form too. I mean, you are a high bar squatter. And people are saying right now, people are like, oh shit, he's high bar. Indeed. Close stance. Like for a tall guy.
Yeah. Not many people high bar. I mean,
not your height.
Yeah.
Your height, you're like usually your leverage built low bar. And I remember I used to tell you like, try out low bar. And I used to get on you about that, but you always stuck with high bar and look what you've come. It's insane. I mean,
I actually did try low bar like 2 months ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I think I got up to 315 for 2. I don't know.
With a wider stance or not?
A little bit wider.
Okay, I was going to say, usually you got to, because you use more hips, you know, you got to load the hips more on a low bar squat.
I don't know. I'm obsessed with high bar. I don't know why. It just feels good.
I mean, you're built for it. I mean, you literally have come such a long ways on it. I mean, let's put the video up now. What's your highest squat?
500 exact.
I think 525 was your top.
No, 500.
No. Okay. 500 is going to play right now. So you guys can see that. But as you can see, I'm sure you can see form changes too as he unracks. And just, I've noticed that because I follow you on all your lifts on Snapchat. You post a lot of them. And I've seen all of them. And I've seen your evolution go, from mediocre to intermediate to more of an advance, and it's outstanding to see that form change.
Yeah, it's one of the things about squat that people just don't understand is if you don't have a good form, it's gonna be really hard. I mean, you got to get form down first in a lot of those compound lifts before you go weight wise, and that's what I always try telling the younger kids. Because I mean, I always see them out there from anything from squat to deadlift, just out there almost destroying their bodies, and it's like, oh man.
We could name
in that same position.
We could name a lot of people that look like they're gonna die in a squat rack.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
100%.
We can name a lot of people that just unrack it timidly, and they barely walk back and they're shaking. It's like, that's not how you do it. No. You walk back with confidence. It's all about confidence. You unrack that shit, you walk it back and you squat that shit.
Exactly.
And you rack it. Yeah,
I would rather see somebody with an amazing form before I saw somebody squatting 800 pounds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Any day.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to Ronnie Coleman's videos, amazing form.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely amazing with that. It's crazy, but it's even with that weight, he was able to control it and everything.
Yep.
So I want to say so your 315 at one time felt super heavy for you, correct?
Yeah, that felt like probably 405 now, honestly. I mean, it was.
What does over 500 pounds feel like on your back?
Well, I mean, it's something for sure.
It's
I
quarter.
try downplaying it because like I said, you see people squatting like 800, so you're like, oh, 500. But no, it was something.
Do you think you should do that? I overplay it like that. Think like, oh, I've seen people squat 700 with ease online.
Yeah.
This is not. Do you think that's a good mind trick for people to use?
It can be sometimes, but other times I just feel like focus on yourself. Don't just compare yourself to other people. I mean,
that's interesting because I train with guys, that psych themselves out. Mm-hmm. They'll put 4 or 5 on the bar and they'll get pinned. Even though I look at them and I'm like, dude, I know you have that lift in that, because they hit 375 and it flew up.
Yeah.
And that's only 25 pounds more. I was like, or 30 pounds more if you got the 5. But it's like, I know they could do it. I look at them, I'm like, you can do this. And they unrack and they get pinned. Like, and it's like, I'm like, what can I say to these guys to help them get through that? Like, what is the mindset to be able to push past the limits of having 4 plates on there and more? Because a lot of people put 4 plates on them and they just get psyched out. It's a common thing. We've seen it over and over.
Yeah. I don't know. One of my main keys in the gym is music. I'm obsessed with music. I mean, I'm a very rock heavy kind of guy. I know a lot of people don't like that, but when I'm in the gym, I need somebody like screaming at me. Almost.
I have different playlists for different days. Like for leg day, I have a playlist called Berserk, and all my playlists are available on Spotify. They're all made public, and I customize them all.
Too. I've heard them. Yeah.
Have you tried out any of my new ones?
When we've been here too,
okay,
you've
nice.
played them.
Okay.
So,
have you tried any of my new ones that I've created?
I have not.
By the Sword is pretty good. By the Sword is a good like upper body one. I wouldn't use it for legs. The new Berserk one I just created, awesome for lower body.
Really?
I mean, it's all heavy. It's metal. It's it's Prevail and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
then I'll be on that for sure.
It's just, I use it every leg day. It's just, you just unrack it. You just feel powerful. Bow Down. That's an amazing song.
It is. I love that song.
It's a powerful damn song. But yeah, music is key in a lot of big lifts. It can really change the mindset of a lot of people.
Music for sure has been one of the big helping factors in how many lifts I've done that are heavy, from heavy sets to just a heavy 1 rep set. I mean, when I dial in for a PR or a heavy set, I just take a second, think, be positive, like if I fail this, it's just going to be motivation for next time. And that's how I see it. Anytime I go for a PR, if I fail it, it's just going to motivate me more to get it. I'm going to want it.
Yeah.
So, and music helps out a lot in that situation.
Oh, for sure. What changed in your programming to get you from a 315 to a 500-pound squat? Because obviously something had to change.
Gaining weight, eating more, bulking. I mean,
anything in your actual programming for training, though? Are you squatting more times a week? Your frequency up?
At one point I was squatting three times a week, but now I'm just back down to 2. But normally I'm in there doing heavy sets every day. I mean, there's not a day I'm not going above 400. So
I just wondered if you used any daily undulating periodization like that, meaning that when I used to powerlift back in the day, and when I was squatting 3 times a week, it was, Monday was a light day, Wednesday was a medium day, and Friday was my heavy squat day. So it undulated all through the week.
I would say Monday would probably be more of my heaviest. I'd probably shoot for like a heavy single or heavy double. And then, because I squat Mondays and Thursdays, I'd say Thursday, depending on how my day of work went, or in general how my day went. If I'm feeling good, I'd probably shoot for a good 5x5.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. So 5x5 you think is something that a lot of people should use?
Yes. I would recommend it. If you want to squat heavyweight or bench heavyweight or anything in general, I mean, 5x5s are killer. They are really killer.
Have you ever done the 5x5 strong lifts program?
I don't think so. No, okay. I have not.
That's a very beginner program, but it's a very good program. I recommend it to a lot of people just starting off with strength, because it gets the foundation, teaches people about the three pillars of gaining mass and strength, and those are volume, intensity, and frequency. Volume is sets times reps times intensity, and that equals volume. Your intensity is how much weight you lift, and your frequency is how often you hit that. And all programs have to be built around those 3 pillars. Otherwise, it's not a program.
Yeah.
And the problem is too, a lot of people, and I talk about this in my book, the 2 to 3 ratio. So basically those 3 pillars, if you have 3 altogether, you can't, basically what I'm saying is you can't have too high a volume, too high a frequency, and too high of intensity. You'll burn yourself out. But you can do high volume and high intensity. you can do high volume, high frequency, but you can't do all three. So basically, I say pick two of those and build your program around that. I've always loved the low frequency, high volume, high intensity. I love that. It's just a very easy way to go about it. And it's against a lot of the science. You know, a lot of the science says you have to train a muscle group, 2-3 times a week when you're natural. And I used to do that. And I actually have better gains now since doing it my way compared to not listening to the science and literature. So it is, you have to find what works for you, honestly. So now let's talk about your bench. Good old your bench. How much you bench?
That's actually my weak point. I am not a fan of bench. If you know me personally, you know I do not love bench. I mean, I do it 2 times a week still, but not a fan. I am actually up to 335 now. Wow. I hit that probably 2 months ago.
The weakest like max effort bench I'm gonna play first. Like probably your beginning benches. Like what was some of those? Like
barely 225.
Barely okay, all right. We're going with that video right here, right now, and we'll play your 350 or 335 next afterwards. After that, so with bench is a difficult lift to get stronger. I think bench out of all 3 big lifts is the one that people struggle with most. Mm-hmm. And I'm not quite sure exactly why that is. It's because you're pressing heavy weight off your chest.
I was say it's probably because it's intimidating. It's like, well, I'm gonna look like an idiot if this doesn't go up.
And I always tell people, it's weird because on squat day, it's so weird. You can have a 5x5 plan, and on your last set, you can get, on an AMRAP, 8-9 reps if you really push yourself.
Yeah.
On a bench, you can't.
No.
It's like, are we raging the numbers wrong on our programming, or? I still don't have this figured out. I've almost trained 2 decades now, 18 years in November, almost 2 decades of doing this. And that's something I still have not figured out, why the squat is so much easier to get over the mind than the bench is.
Yeah, it messes with me still too. And
yeah.
I mean, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and it's still every day on bench, I'm just like, oh man.
What's the biggest thing that you think got your bench from 225 to 315? Did you mess with where your grip was, or where your feet were? Like form, what did you mess around form wise? Because your squat stayed the same. You high bar squat, close stance, and that just got better.
I got a little bit of a wider stance with my arms on the bar now. It feels a lot more comfortable. I mean, and my triceps are more dominant on bench than anything. I mean, sometimes my triceps get blown up on bench.
Your triceps are more dominant? I'm surprised you don't have a closer grip then, if your triceps are more. Because most people with Chris Ellis, he was on the podcast a few weeks ago for you guys. He was on the podcast and we talked about bench, and he's a very close grip bencher. Really? Yeah. He's almost benches close to 405 almost.
Holy crap.
Yeah. We have some monsters that train over at Fountain City with us.
Literally. I've seen them in there when I've been in there. It's insane.
But he has a real close bench though, and his triceps are dominant. So I was like, when you said that, I was thinking, but you have a wide bench though. So it's kind of interesting. What made you want to go with the wider? It feels better?
It does feel better. I've tried closer in grip, but it just doesn't. I think it's more mental with me, because I just feel like I don't have enough strength to be doing that, but it more mental probably, honestly. I get into really bad mental mindset when it comes to bench.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. Have you messed around where you place your feet? Have you slid your feet back or put them out more?
I do. I slide my feet back tucked up close to the bench.
Okay.
So, I mean, I used to be really bad about it. My feet used to be wide out, and I'd sit there and just jump around with them and just be really unstable on the bench.
The moving feet is a very common thing. I have to correct for whenever we're training with new people. I mean, but that goes for anything. If they're shoulder pressing and they're going, you can't see my feet right now, but they're like going like this, and they just can't stay stable or anything. And it's like, I always tell people, find the base to your feet. You don't have to go super close if you don't want to. You don't want to go super wide. Just find something that you can engage your quads slightly to just maybe a 1/10 of a degree or whatnot, just a little bit to keep you stable. Because a lot of people I see don't even use their quads on like a shoulder press or a bench even, for that matter. It's like, use a little leg drive. Leg drive is important. It helps you keep you stable. It helps you push the weight a little bit more, and just overall power,
Exactly.
Everything comes from the legs, their base, their power.
That's where all the power is, exactly.
When it comes to, so we talked about your grip, your leg drive. And what about your arch? Do you have an arch when you bench?
I actually, yes. Within the last year, I've actually had a little bit of an arch.
Because you used to be a flat back bencher.
Yes,
I remember that. And I was always looking, I'm like, I really hope he doesn't mess up his shoulder.
Yeah, I used to be a very bad flat back bench person. But no, I have started arching my back up a little bit, and I have seen tremendous change in it for sure.
It helps stay tight. I mean, when you're back like this, you can pull everything back just like you're doing. I tell people like you're doing a pull down. You know, you want the same pull. You want that same placement with your shoulders back and down whenever you're gonna press weight.
A lot more comfortable. I will admit. I wish I would have done it years ago, but it's all right. You live and learn.
Yeah, exactly. Once you learn too, you do it on everything. You know, you do it on dumbbell presses. On shoulder presses, you just that natural. It's like you just tight everything up, and it's strong.
It is.
This is I'd say that's probably one of the most beginner mistakes people make is when they're pressing. They go like this. That's all they have to do. Just back and down, chest up. Throw the lats into it, and all of a sudden you have a base.
Exactly.
And you'll feel like you can press like 50 pounds more.
Yeah. Maybe you will.
Exactly. It's possible. Just small changes like that. So what would you say was the biggest contributor to get you from 225 to 315?
Probably more, just same thing. I mean, just more heavy sets. I mean, I take my accessories a lot more serious than I ever did with bench. I do. I like flat bench, incline. I actually do a lot more incline now than I did when I first started. That's
good. Talk about your accessory work for bench. That's good because I see a lot of people that just bench and then do some flies and cable flies and go home.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, come on, man. No, accessorize that shit.
I'm obsessed with flat dumbbell. I am. I love it.
It's a good one.
You would be shocked at how much weight you can put up if you actually put in the work with it. Dave actually, he's a bad influence when it comes to that with me. You know how he is with his wrist wraps, and he's adding on a 25. He got me to do it the one time because I had the hundreds, and he's like, "Have you ever thought about going above 100?" I was like, "No, Dave, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do that." He's like, "No, you're just doubting yourself right now." And behold, I mean, we strapped on 2 10-pound plates with the hundreds for me, and I was nervous as can be.
Oh, yeah.
And I kicked back up, and I hit it for at least 6, and I was just surprised.
That's like, awesome. Crap. 110s. We have 120s at Fountain City. Come play with them.
You guys are lucky. Lucky. I wish we had those.
But you mentioned Dave Farkowski. He's going to be on the podcast for you guys next week. I'm taping that this Sunday, actually. He's season finale.
Oh, is he?
Yep. He's going to wrap it all up.
You tell him I brought him up about that.
I will. Definitely. So you say dumbbell bench is probably one of the best accessories to bench.
Yes. For my opinion, yes. It really helped me out tremendously.
What about incline bench?
That is same amount for me. I mean, not as much as barbell. I really shy away from that because I get too much of a pain in my shoulder when I do that. But
dumbbell though,
I love dumbbell.
A high incline, a low incline.
High
incline.
Yes.
So more shoulder oriented. Yes. Well, that's interesting. What's the reason for that?
I just like a strong shoulder, I guess, because I add in a little bit of shoulders on my chest days. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about your split here in a bit. Okay, so that's good. So you say the accessory work was your best contributing factor to get your bench up.
Yep.
So just overall volume.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, and then deadlift time. Let's talk about the monster of the king of lifts, the deadlift.
Yeah.
So what is your first ever hardest deadlift?
It's got to be 405. Honestly.
405.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put 405 up on the screen here. So I remember you first. I think I was at the Y when you first pulled 405. I think I remember that day.
Horrible form, probably.
I mean, not maybe horrible, but maybe things that you could improve on. And I've noticed recently when I'm seeing on Snapchat, your deadlift's amazing. Your form you're locked in. You pull the slack out of the bar. Everything. You just look powerful when you're setting up. I mean, what got you to change everything?
Well, deadlift is a hate/love relationship for me, for sure. There's days I hate it, and there's days I'm just obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
Alex actually really helped me out a lot with my deadlift form. I mean, he helped me out. I'm more closer into the bar than I was wider out. I used to be really bad with being wider out, almost like in between of a sumo and a conventional.
You did a in between hybrid.
Yeah,
that's what I used to do. I really liked it. I loved the hybrid version. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just something about being more closer in. I just feel like I get more power off the ground.
So you're conventional. You're not sumo.
No, I'm not a fan.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen you pull sumo ever.
I tried it one time with Caleb, and I was not a fan. Not a fan.
But yeah, conventional. So going from 405 to what's your top deadlift?
600.
We're gonna play 600 now. I thought I saw you hit 635 or something.
I wish.
Okay, so 600 is gonna play. That's a huge jump. That is 200 pounds you put on your deadlift. And what did you weigh when you hit the 405?
Oof. Probably like somewhere 190-ish, maybe just two.
Well, honestly, I mean, you didn't put on that much weight to get to 600. What did you weigh when you hit the 600?
232.
Yeah, and that's when you hit it.
Mm-hmm.
So roughly 40 pounds, 40, 50 pounds, around somewhere in there. Yeah. I mean, people are thinking that sounds like a lot. And it is. That is a lot of weight. But that's a huge difference in your number, though. You went from a 405 to a 600. And I think you have way more in you. What do you think is your next goal from 600?
Oh, I mean, it's gonna have to be 700. You're going
right to the high. You're not thinking, 650. No, you're going right.
Long-term goal. No, I'm not gonna go straight to 700. No, long-term goal 700. But I think next jump would probably have to be maybe 625, 630.
Okay, so that's important though. He's planning. See, he plans out small jumps. He's not thinking, it's time to go to 700. It's time to put 100 pounds on my freaking deadlift.
I can't. No,
because I know people that I train with too. They're thinking, I'm going to put 100 pounds on my squat in this amount of time. It's like that is not a lot of time to do. When you're natural, it's a grind. When you're natural, it's
you got to give your body time to recover too.
You really do,
especially with deadlift. I mean, when I am destroying my body on deadlift, dude, there's sometimes I gotta take at least 2-3 weeks off before I do it again.
So that's good. What's your frequency on deadlifting? Typically speaking.
Like how long I take.
Or how many times a week do you deadlift?
Oh, just once.
That brings it up. How many times every 2 weeks do you deadlift?
Probably, I'd say I deadlift once every 2.5 weeks.
Wow. People are going to hear that and think, wow, that's a big time in between. That's good though.
Yeah.
I mean, the deadlift is, you just said it, it fries your central nervous system.
And I fry my back at work with what I do. And I definitely feel it the next day afterwards at work. When
I was in the peak of powerlifting back in 2014, I used to deadlift 2 times a week. I did Monday as a light day and Friday as a heavier day. And even just that killed me. I mean, that's just, and also at the same time, I was squatting 3 times a week and benching 2 times a week. So it was like, I look back at that program, I'm like, I was not human. When I was trained like that. Yesterday, I trained squats and overhead press, and I was just dead after that. I was like, how in the hell did I used to bench, squat, and deadlift in the same day?
Yeah.
And Josh was like, well, you're also 10 years older now.
Yeah, like, that's a big key factor for sure.
It's a key factor.
Indeed.
So what do you think helps with recovery for deadlift? Because I think a lot of people are hearing, they want to hear that, because deadlift is one that can really just sink other lifts if you don't get enough recovery.
I'm one that's big on the whole ice bath thing. I'm obsessed with ice baths.
Are you really?
Yes, I love them.
How often do you do ice baths?
I mean, it just varies. If I'm coming off of a really hard workout on squat or deadlift, I'm definitely in the ice bath for sure.
Wow, did you buy one of those ice baths?
No, I would love to though. I'm just doing the whole hillbilly way in the tub with a bag of ice. So
wait a second. You're filling the tub up and dumping the ice in?
Yeah.
I think it'd be cheaper just to buy.
I would love to buy one of those, or like a little horse trough.
That's the thing, a horse trough. A lot of people do a horse trough and fill it up with ice and have that. But that's interesting. I don't know a lot of people around this area that do the ice baths. What have you all noticed since doing the ice baths? Going off topic a little bit, I'm curious now.
I just feel like it's, in my opinion, I like it because I feel like it's more of a faster recovery. I just feel 10 times more better when I do them. I mean,
because I used to do the whole cold shower thing.
Yeah.
And I noticed my recovery was better, but my strength was weaker. And then I looked into the science of it, and the science is actually really interesting. The science does help with recovery, but it can hinder muscle growth. So
Really?
yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fascinating when you actually read into it. They've done several different studies on it, and they've shown like it does improve the recovery, so you feel better, but it actually hinders hypertrophy to a degree.
Shit.
So I stopped doing it, and I basically did a little test there. I did cold showers for like, I think it was 6 months, and I tested everything, tested my max, like knew all my strength where it was, and then I went back to just regular showers, and everything shot through the roof. Really? I put on more muscle. Like it was weird. It was like, and I felt better too. So I stopped doing them. But at the time, I mean, it's interesting though, because my recovery felt better when I was doing the cold showers, but I was building more muscle without them. So it's like, I'm going to just do what's best for hypertrophy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Exactly.
that is interesting though. So you think they've really contributed to a lot, maybe some of your strength gains too?
Probably, I would believe so.
And how often did you say you do them?
It varies. I mean, definitely one time a week for sure.
One
but
time a week. Oh, wow.
If I'm coming off of a heavy lift from squat, or if I deadlifted, for sure I'm gonna hit an ice bath if I deadlifted, or if I had a heavy squat session, I'm gonna be in
That's awesome. That's
that.
really cool.
Or I really like using. I don't know if you've ever used Tiger Balm before.
Tiger, what is that?
It's almost like icy hot.
Oh,
But
okay.
I like it a little bit better. I use that a lot on my lower back, and that helps me out. Or I use the old massage gun. Those things are nice.
So back to the actual transformation from the 405 to the 600-pound deadlift. What do you think was the biggest contributing factor to take you from 405 to 600?
Definitely form.
Form
For sure.
What did you change?
Lot more in towards the bar than being so wide out. I mean, like I said, I just feel more like I can get more power wide or closer into the bar off the ground than I can wider out. And learning how to pull the slack out, because when I first started deadlifting,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember those days.
that slack would kick my ass for sure. I mean,
People are hearing slack. Slack is the click the bar makes. When that bar clicks, that needs to be pulled out before you pull.
or it's gonna be a nightmare
Everybody's
going up.
yeah, but there's a lot of people that don't know that. They pull and you hear the pull, you hear the click as they pull, and you're like, oh, my back hurts just watching
Exactly. Yep.
them.
Yep. And they're just sitting there shaking and waddling back up.
Yep. I tell people, before you pull, protect your armpits. If you feel like somebody's tickling you, that's what you should do. Like that motion of, oh, somebody's tickling me, pull your lats back, and that will pull the slack out of the bar naturally, before you pull. So deadlifting, how close are you to the bar? Let's say your edge of your foot is right here. Okay. How is the bar like to the edge of your foot, middle foot, or back to your leg, basically on your leg?
It's basically on my leg.
Oh, really? You like pulling that? I tell people usually midfoot where they should start and play with that, because sometimes people get too close and they can't engage enough with their lats to pull back. They have to fall back too far and lose off balance. But you're right up there against the bar.
Yeah, I get pretty low to the ground too.
So
I'm basically almost sitting before I shoot up.
Okay, so you probably get some bloody shins then.
Yeah, but I mean, if you got baby powder, you'll be all right.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine.
Normally, if I'm deadlifting, I'm a big sweatpant guy. I
Yep.
don't like deadlifting in shorts. It just doesn't feel right.
No, when I train legs, I'm the same way. It's sweatpants. I like having everything nice and warm and tight.
Exactly.
I see people squat in short shorts. I'm thinking, the hell, man.
Well, I mean, I do that.
I know you do.
Gotta show off those quads.
All right, so let's back up a bit here and start from your split now. What is your split now for the week?
Mondays, full on legs, 100% squatting for sure on a Monday.
So heavy. It's a heavy day.
It's definitely. I'm gonna torture myself that day on a Monday. It's perfect timing. Why not?
It's fresh off the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. You got the most energy in you. I'm ready, fueled up to go. So I'm just gonna see what I do. Most of the times, that's probably the day. If I'm shooting for a PR, it's gonna be on Monday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you put the thing you're trying to improve on at the beginning of the week. I do the same thing. For me, it's always chest. I have weak chest. I've always had that up Monday. People think, oh, Shawn trains chest because of International Chest Day. No, it's my weakest muscle group, and I want to improve it.
Exactly.
So that's where it stays until something else changes.
Yep. And Tuesdays are chest, tries, shoulders.
So it's a push day.
Yep.
Okay. So you kind of do a legs push pull. Okay, and so on that day, is that a bench day or an accessory chest day?
It'd be a bench day.
So you'd be a heavy bench day, or
Yeah.
So that's 100% bench day. Do you do any barbell press for shoulders, or do you mainly just keep it accessory for shoulders then?
I mean, once in a while, if I'm feeling good, I'm going to do barbell. I love doing barbell for sure. But shoulders, no, it's probably going to be more accessory wise. Okay. Just because if I came in off of a heavy bench, I don't want to blow the crap out of my shoulder, because I tendency to do that sometimes and I'll regret it the next day or two. And then next time I come to bench, it's going to not feel good.
So Wednesday then?
Wednesday's 100% back and by.
Back and by. Good old pull day. Do you do any traps on that day?
I do. Me and Caleb stay obsessed with the traps.
Good. Nice. That's a good accessory for deadlifts too. Strong traps will keep everything nice. The whole shoulder girdle strong. A lot of people, when they're just deadlift all the time, think, oh, I don't need to do shrugs. And it's like, I'd still throw in some shrugs just for healthy shoulders. Shrugs are very just healthy shoulder exercise.
You don't really see many people doing shrugs anymore either.
It's weird too. Yeah. Like, I tell people, when you got big traps, you look big. I mean, that's one of the things I always get complimented on. I have giant traps for my size. Yeah. It's like, because I train them heavy.
Exactly.
It's if you want to look big, traps. Get some good traps on you.
Exactly.
So back and biceps, you haven't mentioned like any ab work in here, any core work. Do you throw any of that in there?
Once in a while I will, but I kind of shy off away from that whenever I am bulking. I don't really do too much ab workout. I mean, I will go and run once in a while, but other than that, no.
Okay. Going to Thursday then.
It repeats itself right back to leg day.
Okay, so you just repeat. So now those next 3 days, are they the same effort? 100% leg day, like 100% strength?
No, that's more, I'm going to grind out like a 5x5 set, or I'm going to look for like a heavy double, or some form of good set.
Okay, that brings up a good point I wanted to mention here. So you're doing your volume then on Thursday for legs. Now, you said your Monday is do you just work up to a heavy 1 rep for the day and you're done? Yep. You don't do any more? No back off sets? Mm-hmm. Wow. So his frequency, that's really interesting. So no actually working sets. You just work up to a top set and then do your accessory stuff. Yep. Wow. And you do, for bench, do you do the same then Tuesday?
Yep.
Nice. That's cool. I like that approach actually a lot. It saves a lot in the tank then too.
It does. I just try to save as much energy as I can.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay, so back to Thursday then. So legs, this is the day you're doing a 5x5 typically. So this is your volume work.
Yep. And it'd be the same thing Friday for chest. And then Saturday. Yeah, I go in on Saturday. That'd be just more back. Buys. Probably that Saturday would be for sure the day I'm in shoulders the most. Probably if I'm going in there doing overhead press or.
Oh, okay. So Friday is just another chest day. Yeah. No shoulders on that day. So it's
chest and tris.
Chest and triceps. Okay. And then Saturday is you're going to be your back and shoulders. Yes. Is that a good way to say it?
Yep.
That's an interesting split. I like that actually. That's a lot of volume.
It is. Yeah.
And that's 6 training days too a week. That's a lot. I mean, I only train, 4 or 5 days a week nowadays. And I've found for my age, that's really good. Because for me, a few years back, it was around COVID, before COVID stopped, I was doing 6 days and then COVID happened. And then I trained at home. And I went back to my roots here at home. I actually, and I talked about this a little bit a few episodes back, but when everybody was getting cut and lean during COVID because they couldn't train, mm-hmm. I knew I had a gym basement. So I was like, I'm going to take this time to up my calories and go back to the basics, the bench, the squat, just the old fashioned stuff.
I remember seeing your videos too around that time.
I got up to 175 pounds and I was crazy strong. When I came back to the gym from COVID, I was a lot bigger. And then I had my hip injury. Literally like 6 months later, and then I lost a bunch of weight. But the thing was though, like what that taught me though during COVID was I trained less and I made more progress, so that I kept it. Like I was recovering better, so I kept that whole mentality I learned during COVID, and that's why I train 4 or 5 days a week now. When do you think that 6 days a week is a good point for most people?
I would say if you got goals that you want, or if you're young, I mean, go for it, man.
You think 6 days is?
Yes.
Do you have you noticed any times where like, oh man, maybe a recovery day would benefit me?
There are some times that if I've had a shitty week off of work or the gym, I will take Saturdays off. I'm not anti-Nazi with that. I won't. No, I gotta go to no, I will take it off. If my body's telling me I need to take it off, I will take it off.
You've learned that, and that's why I say he's advanced now, because you've learned that point now to listen to your body. Exactly. I know a lot of people that are thinking, that are a lot of hard heads, and they, no matter what, they're going to get to the gym, even if their body's telling them no. And I mean, I've gotten to the point in my training, like if I'm getting ready for a leg day and nothing's feeling right, I'm saying, pack it up, go home, live another day. I've got to that point. I've had so many injuries and everything. It's like, I know what's going to happen out of this, and I'm just going to save it for another day. And that's a mentality thing you get over time. I mean, not a lot of people can do that. People think, oh, I've got to push it out no matter what. It's like, if you're not feeling it or you need more recovery, take the time off. You're not going to lose muscle taking off a few days. This week I took off like 3 days of training because I had to get these podcasts recorded. And I went to the gym yesterday and I felt amazing. I felt super strong and awesome. And I was like, maybe I should take more days off like that, because the recovery was fantastic. It's
actually funny that you bring that up, because I've actually taken the last 2 weeks off. I have not been to the gym the last 2 weeks, but not more body-wise, but more mental-wise too. I have been in a little bit of a slump the last 2 weeks, just with life. Everybody knows life's pretty hard right now. In today's economy and everything.
It's brutal.
But I feel a lot better. I mean, taking time off instead of just going to the gym and forcing my body to do something that I know I can't do.
Your joints feel better. Yep. Like I've noticed, like taking a couple of days off, like, oh, I can do this without any pain now.
Yeah, like, I can actually feel my arm.
Right, exactly. It's like, and like yesterday, like I went and knocked out, shoulders and legs, which I don't usually do together, but I felt fantastic. So it's like, don't be afraid to take more recovery time. Recovery is important, I think, for a lot of people.
I take recovery very seriously.
Going into recovery then, what do you do so you talk about ice baths. Let's talk about your sleep. How much does good old Zach sleep?
Not very well during the weekday, but
oh really?
I minimum 5.5, 6 hours of sleep.
Dude, if you got that to 8, 9, you'd probably be squatting over 700 pounds.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like I'm telling you, sleep can change everything.
I don't know. I can't. There's something about it. I don't know if it's because I'm still young or what, but I just more of a night owl. It's hard for me to go to bed.
I get it. I'm a night owl too. Luckily, my day job, I work for a company out of Utah, work from home here, so I get to sleep until 9:30 every day. So I get that 8 hours every day. Yeah. But when I first got this job, like my last job, I was waking up, to go to work at 7:30, and I'm a night owl too. I love being up watching anime at night, playing video games. Yeah, it's the only time to do it. So it's like I was only getting 5, 6 hours, and when I switched to this job, my strength levels went through the roof. Like I noticed within the few weeks, I was pushing up numbers that I used to be struggling with. I was doing reps and reps with some of my top sets, and I was like, dude, where all the strength come from? And I was like, oh, I'm getting 3 more hours of sleep every night. So sleep is number one importance. I mean, I've talked about that a lot. It's really an important thing. So I think you should try.
I definitely need to try.
If your goal is to hit some of these numbers you're telling me about, your 625 to 650 deadlift, 500 700, right? Or no, wait, 625 deadlift and 535 squat. Yep. So if you're going to try and bench, what's your short-term goal on bench? You didn't really talk about that.
I know it's not really a good thing to think about it like that, but I don't really have much of a goal on
bench.
Yeah, I don't really pursue it that much as I do with deadlift or squat. I mean,
and that's okay.
I'm thankful I was able to hit 335 in my lifetime, but I don't pursue it that hard as I do the other two.
Mm-hmm. Just because you just don't have the interest in it?
No, I don't. Not really. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm more obsessed with the accessory, right? And the actual bench,
right? Yeah. No, that's fair. That's good. All right. So back to recovery. So what about supplementation?
Oh, big vitamin guy for sure. I take them all. I mean, anything from fish oil to omega-3s. I mean, vitamin C, vitamin D, all of them.
How much vitamin D you take a day?
I would have, this is bad, but I would have to look. I actually take a pill. I take 2 pills from Rise. They have a very good supplement for vitamins. I don't know if you've ever used any of Rise's stuff
I've
yet.
not. No.
And it's pretty good. I like it.
Just curious of the how much IU you take a day of vitamin D3 though. Do you have any guess? I'm just curious because I talked to Chris Ellis, and Chris Ellis is taking 20,000 IU right now, which is insane. It's crazy because like I don't usually recommend more than 8,000 for most people. If people have like testosterone deficiencies, they can bump it to 10,000 for a while. I did that for a bit, but most people should take 5,000 to 8,000. I do about 5,000. I do 5,000 a day.
I would say I'm probably somewhere from 3 to 4.
Okay. I wouldn't be afraid to up in that a bit. You're heavy. You're heavier, and you could probably take that closer to 7 to 8. And if you see some strength differences in that, especially since you don't get as much sleep, that could help with that a little bit as well. So might want to play around with that a little bit. But yeah, Chris Ellis, he takes in about 20,000 IU. When he said that, I about passed out on the podcast because I was like, that was a huge ass number. Yeah, that's a big number. But he says he feels great on it. So I was like, I guess whatever. That's freaking nature.
Yeah, they're out there.
Own. Oh yeah, for sure. He benches 405. So what the hell do I know?
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you just gotta be like, whatever. So let's see here. You said vitamin D, multivitamin, probably, right? Mm-hmm. What about a B complex or anything like that? Or
I actually have not dipped my toes into that.
Can help with energy levels and stuff, especially with sleep and stuff. When you exercise, you excrete a lot of B vitamins. So it might be something to try out, throw in there. What about your sodium potassium levels? Do you track any of that?
Not as much, no.
Do you know on average how much sodium you take a day?
It can't be a lot. I'm not really a big guy on sodium. I mean
that could throw your lifts through the roof if you up to that, I talk a lot about salt. I'm kind of the salt guy because I've learned the salt from Stan Efferding, and when I upped my salt originally, from the RDA 2500 to I take it anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 milligrams now a day, and I felt like I was on steroids the first couple weeks I did that. I was like, what? And I knew it wasn't placebo because the lifts I was hitting was crazy. Like I was making some of the weights everything just felt amazing. I just felt like I gripped the bar tighter, everything. And so I knew it wasn't placebo. And I always recommend people try upping their sodium a bit to see if it helps them.
Yeah, I probably should. I need to.
I'm just curious. Try it. These are just things that I'm thinking, like if you tried them, they maybe will shoot your lifts through the roof, possibly.
Get me to that 700.
Yeah. It's all the salt.
Gonna have to put some more on my french fries or something.
Yeah, exactly. Any way to get some more sodium in there might help a little bit. So sodium, potassium, you don't really track that. Those are some things you could definitely track, though. I think they might help you. We talked about sleep. We talked about supplements. Let's finally go into nutrition. So calorie-wise, when you were first starting out, what did you do calorie-wise?
Like first in the gym or?
Yeah, in your beginning days, just in generally speaking.
Probably the worst guy at doing calorie-wise when I first started because I didn't know anything about any of that. I didn't know how it contributed to you in the gym and how it made you feel. I was horrible.
No, you didn't know about macros and what a carb protein was?
No. I just ate whatever I saw on site and went and worked out. And then when you finally got an understanding for it, you're like, well, there you go. That's,
Call that the seafood diet.
Yeah.
If you seafood, you eat it. So now that since you know what you're doing, what do you do nowadays?
Well, right now I am up to like an average of 45 a day. 4,500
calories. Nice. That's really impressive, actually. Protein?
Probably 250.
That's good. That's right around your weight. I always recommend about at least a gram per pound body weight up to like maybe 1.5. After 1.5, it's really not being beneficial.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right in there in that limit, about 1.2, I think, if I did the math right. What about fats?
Not a whole lot. I have shied away. In my years of getting older, I've shied away from sweet stuff.
No, fat, like grams of fat in macros.
Probably around like 120 maybe.
120? Yeah. Okay. And what about carbs?
Oh, big guy on carbs for sure.
Good.
Probably upper 3s. I am obsessed with pasta for sure.
I was gonna say upper 4s for you. I'd maintain around right on the mid to upper 3s. I'm on a maintaining level right now, and I'm like 350. So, but So is that really 4,500 calories? I feel like that can't be 45.
Yeah, probably more carb wise.
Yeah, I was going to say, that'd have to be more carb wise. That's only, I mean, if I did the math correctly, that's only like 36 to 3,700 with that. I'm guessing your carbs are probably more closer to 500.
Probably.
If I did that right, which I think I did. So you think carbs are your most contributing factor?
Oh, yeah,
you say, what do you do to get your carbs to 500? Because some people are thinking, the hell he eats to get to 500 carbs.
I'm a big pasta guy. I mean,
like pasta?
I am obsessed with pasta. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just hard to eat so much pasta."
It is. It's crazy hard to eat so much pasta.
I don't know why.
If you like it, that's good. I mean, white rice is my go-to. I can pound white rice.
Yeah.
It digests good. I can eat a whole bowl of it and not feel bloated. And
you do anything with it.
Right.
I mean, anything from bowls to I throw it in burritos. Like I know it sounds weird, but like a breakfast burrito.
No, that's not weird at all. I've done that. I've done actually rice omelets. It's actually popular in Japan. I learned it off an anime. I learned it. There was an anime where it was a romantic anime, and the girl made a rice omelet for her boyfriend. I was like, that sounds awesome, and topped it with with some hot sauce and a little bit of ketchup too. I was thinking that might be really good. So I threw a bunch of eggs in a pan, threw rice in the omelet, put cheese in there and ham, and then topped it with ketchup, and it's awesome. Freaking awesome.
I'm gonna have to try that out.
Rice omelet, Japanese favorite apparently. I don't know. I learned it in an anime. It was great.
You learn a lot from anime, actually.
You really do. Anime is I've learned a shit ton from anime. I mean, I know you grew up on Dragon Ball Z like me, and
hardcore.
And was that a motivating factor to lift?
Yeah, I always wanted to look like a Super Saiyan.
I've always said, I mean, for our generation, I mean, it's always been that way. You want to see, you watch these anime and you're like, time to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I sometimes I'm into Black Clover right now. You ever watch Black Clover?
I have not. No.
It's basically the sum of it is the main character is in a land of magic, but he succeeds without having any magic. He was born without magic, and he has this crazy goal of becoming the king of the nation, and he has no magic, and he fights his ass off, and he basically strength trains and tries to be as strong as he can without magic, and he's just a badass. Really? And it's super motivational too, because I've taken that whole thing through life, kind of like for me. I've always had a lower testosterone level than most. For me, I watched that. I'm like, okay, if Asta's the main character in this anime, if he was able to do everything he did without magic, it's like, I'm going to push past my limits. That's one of the things he always says in that anime too. I'm going to push past my limits. You know, he always says, my magic is never giving up, meaning that his type of magic was never giving up. And that just rang true with me, where like, when I get under a heavy squat, I'm like thinking like that same type of thing, push past your limits.
Yeah.
So anime, it's powerful stuff. People laugh at people for watching anime, but you can learn so much motivation through anime.
Nerds, right?
Seriously.
I am obsessed with it, yo.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It is time for Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Zach, are you smarter than a fifth grader?
I don't know. I am just a dumb construction worker, so we'll see.
You do electrical work though, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're up there in the hierarchy of construction. I knew you were. I knew you didn't work on roads and stuff like that.
Nope. I am an electrician.
So let's find out if you're smarter than a fifth grader today.
Sweet.
Question 1. What is the term for a word that sounds the same but has a different meaning and spelling, like right and right? Like W-R-I-T-E and R-I-G-H-T. What is the name of the type of word for that?
Man. I feel like I'm back at school.
This is a fifth grade question.
Oh. I don't think I have an answer. I can't. And that fifth grader smarter than me for sure.
Homophone. Homophone, yep. If you were traveling at 60 miles per hour, how long would it take you to travel 120 miles?
120 miles going to 60 miles.
Yes.
Is this going to be in, like, time-wise, or?
Yes, time-wise. Answer is a time answer.
I'm going to say 2 hours.
Yep, right. Question 3. What is the process called by which plants make their own food using sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water?
Photosynthesis.
Yes. Number 4. A polygon with 8 sides is called what?
I do not know.
Octagon. Which planet in our solar system is known as the red planet?
Mars.
Yep. If a rectangle has a length of 10 units and a width of 6 units, what is its perimeter? This one's a hard one. I missed this one when I was writing this out.
Yeah, I don't know.
32 units.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't remember. We're learning that in 5th grade. What is the smallest prime number greater than 20?
Prime number?
Mm-hmm.
Greater than 20.
Smallest prime number greater than 20.
Yeah.
23. In the human body.
22. God damn.
No, that's not a prime number. In the human body, what is 11 plus 11? 22.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
In the human body, which bone is commonly known as the collarbone?
Bone known as the collar. Oh.
Let's go, fitness guy.
Am I allowed to phone a friend?
Nope.
God, I was saying, I can call my girlfriend up. She's a nurse, so give me a good answer.
She's a nurse. Nice, very nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
The clavicle.
There's no way I would have known that one.
Yeah, no.
No.
What literary term refers to the use of words that imitate the sounds they describe, like buzz or hiss?
Man, maybe I should go back to school.
Maybe you should.
I don't know.
Onomatopoeia.
Oh, man.
Bonus if you can spell it.
Yeah, I'm not getting that one.
Onomatopoeia. How I know that is because my mom drilled it into my head when I was younger because there was a spelling test and she created a song for it. So that's how I've always remembered it to this day.
Yeah.
If you have a jar containing 24 marbles, 18 of which are red and the rest are blue, what is the ratio of red marbles to blue marbles in the simplest form? 24 to 18.
6.
A 3 to 2 ratio.
Oh, 3 to 2 ratio.
Yep. So you were close. You just forgot to break it down. You got 6. You just forgot to divide that. All right. So you didn't do very well.
No. No.
Let's see what you did. Let's see. I'm curious to see how you did. Okay.
I think it was like 2.
You missed the homophone. You missed. Did you get the miles right? How many miles traveling? 2 hours? Yeah, you got that one right. Okay. Process. You got the photosynthesis right. Polygon, you missed that one. Mars, you got right. Perimeter, you missed that. Smallest prime number, missed that. Clavicle, missed that. You missed onomatopoeia, which I'm really sad about that. And then you missed the ratio one, so you got a 30%.
Oh, geez.
You've so far gotten the worst on this season out of people. Well, you did worse than Dave Seidel, and Dave did really bad.
Well, not anymore. Now it's me.
I'm curious to see how Florkowski does. He also doesn't know this is coming, so this is all surprise.
5th grader's way smarter than me for sure.
I'm curious to see how he does too. But all right, so we're gonna go into our listener questions now. What I got for you here.
Okay.
First question I got here is, why have you not jumped on juice, and do you ever plan to?
I do not. I've never seeked to do it, and it's like I said. I mean, if I know I'm not the one that's doing it, where's the satisfaction in it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm telling you, from me personally, if you put in that hard work and you get those numbers up, that satisfaction will be 10 times better than it ever will be if you were to hop on it.
You are the closest age group that I have had on this season for this podcast about talking to this, considering the age group of this is really young people. What could you tell those young people that are thinking about jumping on stuff? Because you go on YouTube right now and you see people saying my review with TRT, and they're titling it, feel like a superhero. I mean, there's endless videos out there. People, they're tempting. I mean, you watch them and you're listening like, oh my gosh, this sounding damn tempting. And for these young kids that don't have this experience, they're like, why not? Like, what is the advice we can give to these kids? Because I'm running out of advice myself to give these kids.
Patience, man. Patience. I mean,
some people don't understand patience.
No.
We live in a generation that doesn't know patience.
No, they don't, unfortunately. And that's the main key. I mean, patience. Give your body time to develop. I mean, see what your full potential is naturally before you ever even think about hopping on anything. If you do, I mean, you would be surprised with what you can do naturally before you ever do anything to your body.
Why do you think patience is such a problem for people?
Because nowadays everybody wants the new and the better now.
What changed though? I mean, you are only, I mean, I'm gonna be 32 this year. You're 25 or 26?
25.
Did you turn 25 this
year? So I'll be 26 in May.
Okay, so you're 6 years younger than me. You're not that much younger. What is the difference from our generation to the ones under this? Because it's a generation under. Are you a millennial or not? No, you're Taylor. You're my little sister's generation. So that'd be 2 generations under me. I just don't get it. That generation under you guys is the generation I'm talking about. They're the ones that do not understand patience. They don't understand hard work. They don't understand to want to like the journey. You know, they're just in it for the results. What do you think has changed in just a generation? I mean, I have social media. I mean, I didn't grow up with it, obviously, like these kids are doing, but it's just, I'm trying to figure out psychologically what is going through these kids' head nowadays that they're wanting to do all this stuff now. They're taking the risk. Like for me, when I was young, I heard about steroids. I heard about the increase in like testicular cancer and like stuff like that. I was like, why would I ever do steroids? Like this, why would I mess with that shit?
Yeah, exactly.
But there's kids nowadays that look right past that. Like I'm just confused and baffled why kids don't think about it the same way we do.
I mean, I would agree with you. It circles back to the social media platform. I mean, that has never done anything good for the younger generation.
Do you think people are doing it for money? For clout? Because they think they can maybe become the next Chris Bumstead?
Exactly. Everybody wants to become the next Chris Bumstead, Alex Eubank, Bradley Martin. I mean, and I'm not saying I don't watch them either. I do.
Yeah, I enjoy watching their videos. I watch them too. They make good videos. Yeah. Chris Bumstead's a real honest, humble guy. I like listening to him.
But, you know, everybody just wants to be that guy. And it's, you know, I don't understand where we went wrong here with the younger generation. I mean, like you said, there's just no patience, no fight for will on hard work.
Yeah, and me and Chad talked about too, like a lot of people are getting on this stuff and then they're like the 1 out of 500,000's hashtagging, you know, young LA and all this stuff to try to become famous.
Everybody wants to be rich and famous. Everybody wants to be sponsored and, you know, and I have plenty of friends that I'm not friends with anymore because they've just let it go corrupt to their head. And and they're not the same.
I've a few friends myself like that. It sucks. Something just switched and they just are doing it for the wrong reasons now, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something I wanted to get your opinion on because you're the youngest person I've had on this season yet. So just was curious about that. Actually, not the youngest. No, last week was the youngest with Lils Bauer. Lils Bauer was on last week. We talked about sexy talk, dating in the modern world. We got real raw too. It was our first rated R podcast. So me and Lils Bauer had a great conversation. But that was last week's podcast. If you guys missed that one, let's see here. Now back to the questions here. You have made such insane progress. What kind of goals do you have for yourself now? I think this person's just asking overall. Like, what's the next step for Zach Spahr?
Seeing how long I can keep it going. I mean, sky's the limit for me, I guess. That's how I see it. Keep going. I'm still young. Yeah. I'm still in my prime.
Yep.
I mean, you guys have told me that for years. You, Dave, everybody.
Yep.
Why stop now? See what else I can do.
I love it. See where you can go. What is the best way to get in a lot of calories for us hard gainers?
Gotta eat your food, man.
What about people that don't have big appetites? Is there any tricks that you use?
I'm big on the protein shakes,
okay.
I don't know. Sometimes blend up your food in a smoothie. I do that sometimes. Yep. I mean, I know it sounds really gross.
No, I've done that too. When you have to get your calories high and you don't feel like eating, man. Yeah. Oh, dude. It's
Make yourself a nice smoothie. I enjoy it. It goes down pretty good.
Yeah. It's sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
You'd be surprised exactly. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I think people think, oh, I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat. It's like, don't be afraid to blend food.
Yeah. Make it easier for yourself.
Yep. What is the workout split you had the best gains with? Somebody asks.
The one I have right now.
Push-pull legs.
Yeah, push-pull legs for sure.
And 6 training days a week.
Yep.
All right. What are some effective training strategies and recommend for someone who wants to prioritize muscle hypertrophy? How does this differ from training for strength? So basically, I think this person's asking just how to prioritize hypertrophy over strength, I think that's what they're getting at. What strategies would you recommend for someone who wants to prioritize muscle hypertrophy? And how does this differ from training for strength? So the difference from training from strength to hypertrophy, basically. Do more volume?
Yeah, I would say probably do more volume.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my opinion.
And I always like to put this out there. Don't be afraid to keep a strength movement in. I tell people, when have you ever seen a small dude bench 315?
Yeah, exactly.
And when people come to me and say, oh, I'm not training for strength. Well, when have you ever seen a small person bench 315? They're going to have some arms on them. It's like, it's like, don't be afraid to train for strength. That's why I've loved, power bodybuilding, and I've done it to this day. It's, you start out your workout with a heavy compound and then you accessorize it with hypertrophy stuff. Power bodybuilding. It's so simple. It's so easy to program, and it's fun as hell, and it works. And it's
don't doubt yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do it for years and years. It's just a good way to go about it. That way you get the best of both worlds. You get some strength aspect in there. Strength is fun. And then you just get to go bodybuilding ham on the bodybuilding exercises, Yep. So good old power bodybuilding. Balancing cardiovascular exercise with strength training is a concern for many. How do you recommend integrating cardio routines while still prioritizing muscle gain and strength development?
Well, for me, my cardio, I usually do a lot of it on the weekend, or like I said, after leg day, I usually will be on the treadmill.
So you do cardio?
Yes.
How many times a week do you do cardio?
Just 2.
Just a couple. And do you do like high intensity or steady state? You do steady state.
I do a nice steady
pace. Nice. That's good. That's what I recommend too. It's easy. It doesn't, because people think, HIIT is all the science around HIIT. The thing is, if you are lifting like we are and you throw HIIT into that, HIIT is just another weightlifting day. That's what HIIT is. HIIT is literally another training day on top of that. The thing about steady state cardio is it might be boring, but it's not going to stress your central nervous system. It'll help recovery. And it's nice to go for a walk,
Yeah, that's me and my girlfriend. We go for the walks in the park all the time.
It's fan. I love walking. Love it. But yeah, I don't shy away from that. So, but yeah, that's a good one. All right. Yeah, that's going to wrap up today's podcast. I think we covered a lot of stuff. I think we went into a good amount with your lifts and how you got your lifts to where they are and where they're going to be going, because I can see you, oh gosh, in a couple of years, I can see you probably, squatting 650 to 700, deadlifting close to 800.
By then, I'll be back here again.
Yeah, I definitely. Oh, for sure. I'd love to have you on again. That's be fantastic to have you on again. And we'll talk about your difference, because you're going to have to change up things to get to those numbers next, because training is a constant, evolving over time. Constantly, if you're always trying to have always changing things, always adjusting things, maybe taking away a little volume here, adding some here, maybe upping the frequency up here, always adjusting things. So it's going to be interesting to see what you use and what you do to take what you use. What cycle are you going to go on? You better still be natural, otherwise I'm going to pull back
100%.
Otherwise I'm going to pull back this video of you saying I'm going to stay natural. I'm going to be like, damn it, what'd you do, Zach?
Oops.
Social
media got to you.
Social media got to you. You became one of the younger generation.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I don't think you will. You have the mindset of like me, so I think that'll keep you grounded. But thank you, Zach, for coming out today.
No problem.
I had a blast.
Thank you for having me.
What's one thing you give the listeners as some takeaway advice for the day?
I would just say, just stay positive. Don't worry about if anybody's in the gym, like looking at you like, oh, why is he in the gym, or why is she in the gym? She doesn't look like she goes to the gym every day. I see that all the time, and the why is really bad for it. Go to the gym, stay confident, keep your confidence. Confidence is key in everything.
Oh yeah.
From work to the gym to anything.
To succeed in life, you need confidence.
I would just say stay confident, bust your ass off, put in the hard work. I mean, nowadays nobody knows what hard work.
Nope, I agree. Well, that's going to wrap this up. Thank you again, Zach. I appreciate it. As always, guys, stay strong and God bless. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, no problem.
That was awesome.
Oh, man. Time flew by. I didn't even know it was that long.